Have you ever stopped to think how many of the commands you give yourself throughout the day actually belong to you? I should wake up at this hour. I should be making this much money. I should be kind to people. The list goes on. But you may not realize this. Most of these sentences were not chosen by you. They were taught to you quietly, over time. It is as if an invisible hand places a to-do list in your palm before you even open your eyes in the morning. And when you fail to check off every box, you're left feeling guilty, inadequate, or incomplete. So, who owns these rules? Today, we are going to talk about one of the biggest traps in psychology and philosophy. The relentless voice of obligation inside us. If you constantly feel like you're trying to catch up, yet never quite satisfied with where you are, chances are you're drowning in these shit voices. So let's slow down and silence them, one by one. In psychology, should statements are actually a defense mechanism of the mind. We create rigid rules for ourselves because we're afraid of life's uncertainty. We say, I shouldn't make mistakes, because we don't trust ourselves to handle the chaos that mistakes might bring. At some point, these rules stop protecting you, and without you realizing it, they begin to control you. Here's the problem. The human mind is not designed to operate under rigid structures. Every time you tell yourself, I must be perfect, you're starting a war against your own nature. One of the core principles of cognitive therapy is this. The more rigid a belief is, the more painful it is when it breaks. When you say, people should respect me, a single rude stranger can ruin your entire day, because you're trying to force the world to obey the rules inside your head. This is where a quiet self-betrayal begins. The truth is, the world does not move according to your rules. When you turn these obligations into obsessions, you hand over your happiness to other people's behavior and external circumstances. This is one of the greatest injustices a person can commit against themselves. Thousands of years ago, Stoic philosophers addressed this issue with striking clarity. They believed that the root of unhappiness lies in turning what we cannot control into obligations. When we look at Marcus Aurelius' personal writings, we see something remarkable. He was an emperor. He could have ordered the world to behave according to his will. Instead, he chose to discipline his own mind. He understood that the only place he truly ruled was within himself. Stoicism teaches us to create two lists in life. The first list contains what is within your control, your foods, your intentions, and your actions. The second list contains what is not, what others think, the economy, the past, or what tomorrow brings. When you say, I must be rich, you are focusing on the second list. A Stoic sage would say this instead. I would prefer to be wealthy. It would make life easier. But if I am not, I lose nothing of my character. Notice the difference. There is no obligation here, only preference. And this small shift changes the spine of a person. Preferences set you free. Obligations imprison you. When a preference doesn't materialize, you don't collapse. You say, I continue. The way to release the heavy weight in your life is to replace should with I would prefer. Language shapes how we experience reality. When you say, I should finish this project today, your mind registers it as a threat and stress follows. But when you say, I choose to finish this project today because it moves me closer to my goal, you reclaim control, the same reality. A different stance. That subtle difference determines your quality of life. From a philosophical perspective, we are both the sculptor and the marble of our own lives. When you try to carve yourself into who you should be, you're chasing an ideal that doesn't exist. True freedom begins when you accept who you are in the moment you're in fully and without disguise. Instead of insisting, the world should be fair, ask, the world is sometimes unfair. How do I stand upright within that reality? That question removes you from the role of victim. This is not passive acceptance. It is the highest form of action. As we come to the end of this video, I want to ask you for something simple. From today on, start noticing the should statements. You say to yourself, when you catch one, pause and ask, is this truly my rule? Or is it something I was taught to repeat? Life is not an exam sheet. There are no blanks to fill in, no correct options to mark. You are here. You exist. And that is enough. The moment you stop fighting yourself, the noise in your mind begins to quiet down. When you stop acting as your own harsh judge, you'll notice that inner tension easing. True peace comes when you accept life as it is, and yourself as you are, where obligations end, real life begins. Now put that heavy list down for a moment and just breathe, because you don't need to be anything. You already are, and that is not something that needs fixing. So tell me, what obligation are you letting go of today? Which rule are you choosing to cancel? Let's talk about it in the comments, because when we share these weights, they truly get lighter. Until the next video, where we break another set of chains together, take care of yourself.